So USC and Ole Miss canceled a home and home they had on the books for their 2025 and 2026 seasons. And I'm not a fan of this. And it is emblematic of why college football desperately needs a governing structure. The control that individual schools and conferences have over their schedules does not create the maximum number of intriguing matchups. If you look at the week 1 slate for college football this year, there are a couple of big games, most notably Miami, Florida, and Texas A&M, Notre Dame, which is where College Game Day is going to be. I think that is a perfectly acceptable place to land because you got Notre Dame, you got a new head coach in College Station, Kyle Field's going to be rocking, 12th man will be, doing whatever cheers they do down there. They do all sorts of stuff, but you know what I'm talking about. So there are a couple of good games. But on the whole, you got a lot of point spreads, according to FanDuel, that are 15, 15 and a half, 17, 20, 23, 38, 41. You got some big numbers on there. There are going to be plenty of blowouts. It'll be great to have college football back. There are going to be plenty of blowouts. That's just a reality. We have to accept it in the here and now. Hopefully there's an upset or two, just for those of us on the outside who want exciting games. But that's what my point here is on USC cancel. I don't think this is USC, being scared. All the reporting is that there was a mutual cancellation between USC and Ole Miss, and Ole Miss now has to add an FBS team for missing this game, and they've got Wake Forest on their schedule. Okay, back up. Part of the reason, reportedly, that they are going away from this home and home is that Lane Kiffin and company are looking at it going, yeah, they were already going to cancel this, and we're okay with that because we might be going to a 9-conference game slate over here in the SEC. To which I would say, if we had a college football commissioner and he was any good at his job whatsoever, every single conference at the Power 4 level, it's different when you're a group of 5, every single conference would play a 9-game conference slate, and every single team that wants to make the playoff will have a Power 4 opponent in its non-conference slate. One FCS to work out the kinks, one group of 5, because that exposure is important for them, and those games are fun, and it should be a win if your power conference team, whoever that may be, is operating at the level that they're supposed to, and one legitimate non-conference matchup because we like excitement. I am no fan of the NFLization of college football. I don't want it to just become NFL adjacent or NFL minor leagues. It's college football. Keep the sports separate. I will continue to enjoy both every single fall and continue to stand with Josh Pate and those who recognize that fall weddings should be illegal. If I ever became president of these United States, I would take 2 executive actions on my very first day. I believe the president even has the authority to do this. If you want a bunch of people to vote for you in this upcoming election, for those 2 candidates out there, just issue these 2 proclamations. Number 1, Labor Day is moving to be a 2-day holiday in the spring. The first 2 days of March Madness, Thursday, Friday, statistically the least productive work days in the country in the entire calendar year, understandably so. Those would both be federal holidays. That would be Labor Day, get a longer weekend and such. Kids would like you, you wouldn't have to be in school as much. Everybody wins there. The second thing that you would do if you were elected president of these United States is make sure that no one is allowed to have a wedding from the months of September through, let's just go January, because no one should have it there anyway. I mean, no one's going to have a winter wedding. If you're doing that, no one's going to go. September through December. Weddings on the weekends, out of bounds. Can have them on Wednesday if you'd like. My apologies to Maction, but fall weddings, get rid of them. They're a horrible idea. Do you know how many people are at a wedding that would like to enjoy the wedding, but if you schedule it on the day of Georgia, Florida, nobody in that fandom is going to care that you 2 are exchanging vows on the most important day of your entire life. they are going to care that it's the one day a year that Georgia plays Florida. You're going to be married tomorrow, and hopefully every day after that for the rest of your life, there's only one day a year where Georgia plays Florida, or when Alabama plays Auburn, or when Ohio State plays Michigan. You just can't have weddings on these days. All right. Anyway, I didn't plan for that sidebar, but I'm kind of glad I was able to get that off my chest. So USC and Ole Miss cancel this. It makes inherent sense for USC. I don't come at this from an attacking USC perspective. I'm more attacking college football because every year USC to me doesn't have to have an opponent of this caliber because they play Notre Dame. They play Notre Dame every year. So if you've got Notre Dame on the schedule every year, we all know that's a power program. And if you play Notre Dame, boom, you have fulfilled Spencer McLaughlin's requirement of playing a legitimate power team on your non-conference slate. And so I have no objection there. But what's Ole Miss going to do? What is Ole Miss going to do? I just don't want to see them go in the direction of Michigan of years past. Now, I'll give credit to Michigan this year because they are playing Texas in their non-conference slate at home. I will still also criticize them for canceling the UCLA home and home, which led to games for the Bruins against something I honestly don't even remember. There was like a school in South Carolina. I can't even remember the name. That's how irrelevant of a game it was. And UCLA's non-conference was a joke. But Michigan hosting Texas this year, that's more like it. That's more like, because we as college football fans want to have great games, meaningful games, impactful games. We want to have as many as we can in the 12-team playoff in which the value of regular season games is already being chipped away at because you've expanded the playoff. At the very least, give us more games that have those direct playoff implications. So yeah, I would love for USC and Ole Miss to have continued this, but if neither one feels like they need to, which, by the way, they don't need to, because they can schedule things however they want. The NFL doesn't do that. The NFL schedule release is a big deal every year. And when schedules come out, they're a big deal in college football as well, because you don't get to pick your conference slate, but you can choose your non-conference opponents. Why do I know that Ole Miss is going to play Wake Forest in a couple years? Why do I know that? You can schedule home and homes and do it a year in advance. That's fine. That's fine. I have no problem with that. If you say, hey, let's you and I set up a home and home, whichever school we are, and we'll start it next year. Okay, I got no problem with that. Why do we have football games on the schedule in 2032, in 2034? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we doing it? College basketball gets this infinitely more right. They have the Big Ten SEC Challenge every year, or the ACC Big 12 Challenge, and they schedule things on an annual basis, and then they create all these high-profile matchups where you have ranked teams and tournament teams going at it in the preseason. And if you would just apply that same sort of logic, it wouldn't be the exact same in execution, but if you would apply that same sort of logic to college football, you could make the sport better. You could make schedules better, make it more exciting for fans, and give some element of consistency. However, you kind of need a college football commissioner or centralized governing body to do it, and tragically, the sport doesn't have that right now. But I will throw my hat into the ring. I don't know why this was a hat toss. There's a hat toss. I'll throw my hat in the ring for college football commissioner. I humbly accept your nomination, if you'll give it to me. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time. Until then, hope you have a great weekend, and as always, a wonderful rest of your day.